Water is a basic human need, and drinking a certain amount of water every single day is essential to maintain proper health. I imagine that most of you think about drinking water, you imagine yourself going to the refrigerator and pulling out a cool, crisp bottle of water. According to a Ban the Bottle article, which was last updated in 2013 and accessed on November the 10th, 50 billion water bottles are used every single year in the United States. And when I say water bottles, I mean plastic water bottles that are thrown away after they're used, usually just one time. The recycle rate in the United States is only 23%, and so of those 50 billion water bottles, 38 billion are not recycled. So I'm going to tell you why drinking out of these disposable water bottles is actually not cost effective at all. How by drinking tap water, it'd be better for our environment, and also by drinking tap water, we would have be drinking less toxic water overall. The first point I'm going to make is how drinking tap water actually is more cost effective. According to a Huffington Post article, which was last updated in 2013 and retrieved on November 10th of this year, if you drink 8 cups of water every single day, which is the recommended amount, then it would only cost 50 cents a year to drink tap water, which is water from the sink. By drinking 8 cups of water through water bottles, it would cost you $1,400 a year. So as you can see, 50 cents from drinking tap water, and then $1,400 from drinking out of bottled water. It's just 50 cents is obviously way less expensive than $1,400. According to a Business Insider article, which was last updated in 2013 and retrieved on November the 13th of this year, the water bottle industry as a whole made $11.8 billion last year. This concludes that it would be $1.22 per gallon of bottled water, so that's 300 times more expensive than tap water. Using alternative water bottles, like water bottles that can be used more than one time, like metal water bottles or camelbacks or things like that, would be less expensive, and also using water filters on your tap water, although would be a little bit more expensive, definitely not as expensive as using water bottles. The next point I'm going to make is how by drinking tap water it would help our environment. Most people think that this would help our environment because after you drink the one plastic water bottle, normally you throw it away, which obviously does hurt our environment. But if you think about how the oil that goes into making the water bottles themselves are really hurting our environment. So, according to a National Geographic article accessed on November the 13th and last updated at an unknown date, of the 29 billion water bottles Americans consume every year, to make these 29 billion water bottles themselves, the plastic, it takes 17 million barrels of crude oil to make them. According to that same National Geographic article, this is enough to keep 1 million cars running a year. And comparing it differently, if you think about the one water bottle filled up a fourth of the way with oil, this is how much oil that's used to make that one water bottle. So that's weird to think that that oil is actually in the water bottle and that you're drinking water from that water bottle. After these water bottles are used, they're usually thrown into a landfill. According to the same National Geographic article, of 6 water bottles used, only one water bottle is recycled. So that means that 5 water bottles end up in a landfill. According to a Huffington Post article, which was accessed on November the 10th and last updated in 2013, once a water bottle ends up in a landfill, it can take centuries to decompose. And when it decomposes, it's smaller and smaller subunits, and these subunits, even though they might be microscopic, they're still there and hurting our environment. The last point I'm going to make is how most people believe that drinking out of a water bottle has cleaner water, and this actually is a lie. Usually, bottled water is just tap water in kind of a fancier form. According to a Scientific American article retrieved on the 13th of November and last updated in 2015, bottled water is regulated by the Food and Drug Administration, or the FDA, and tap water is regulated by the Environmental Protection Agency, or the EPA. The standards aren't as strict about water quality for the FDA, and since the FDA regulates bottled water, that's kind of concerning because the FDA isn't required to tell you where water was taken from, if it was contaminated, where it was filtered, and things like that, whereas the EPA is required to tell the residents using a certain water where the water was found, where it was filtered, and things like that. So the EPA is required every year to send out a water quality report to the residents of a certain area from where the water is drinking. According to the same Huffington Post article, leaching is becoming a new problem, and leaching is how the plastic from the water bottle is getting into the water, and then from that you're drinking the water which contains plastic, which obviously isn't safe. Leaching can occur after 10 weeks of shelf life, so think about how sometimes that bottled water is on sale and you buy a few big packages of bottled water and they just sit on your shelf for sometimes months. And after 10 weeks, this leaching can occur, and that's just not safe. The leaching can occur more quickly if it is exposed to the sun. So think about your bottled water staying outside in your car for even an hour getting hot, and so the leaching process begins faster. So I'm not going to lie to you, until I came to college, I drank bottled water all the time. My parents bought it, and I was all for the quick and easy bottled water. But when I got to college, I realized that it really was more expensive. And so I started using water filters and just honestly drinking tap water. I got like a Camelback, and I don't really drink bottled water since then. And so I'm going to encourage you, next time you go to the grocery store, maybe pick up a Camelback instead of buying the big things of bottled water, because drinking tap water is more cost effective, it's better ecologically, and is less toxic. The water is less toxic than a typical bottled